My name is Sadie Crawford. I'm 35 years old. And 2 years ago, on a gray October morning, I loaded everything I owned into a rented U-Haul trailer, hooked it to the back of my Honda CR-V, and drove 2,300 miles from Cincinnati, Ohio, all the way to Seattle, Washington. I didn't call my mom before I left. I didn't knock on my sister's door. I didn't send a text to a single person in my family that said, "Hey, I'm going." I didn't slam the door behind me. I didn't leave a note. I didn't make a scene. I just left. And here's the thing that most people don't know about what happened: I kept my phone number. Same exact number I'd had for 11 years. If anyone in my family wanted to find me, all they had to do was scroll down in their contacts and press call. The line worked. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't running from something. I was just completely done chasing people who never came looking. 2 years passed. Not one person in my family called. Not on my birthday in June. Not on Thanksgiving. Not on Christmas. Not on New Year's Eve. Not one single time. Until my sister showed up at my old Cincinnati apartment because she needed free childcare for a long weekend. That's when everything cracked wide open. And what happened after that, I promise you, you are not ready for. Before I get into all of it, hit subscribe right now and drop a comment below. Where are you watching from and what time is it? I genuinely love knowing. Okay, let me take you back to where this whole thing really starts, because it doesn't start 2 years ago. It starts 21 years ago in my mother's kitchen on a night I still think about almost every day of my life. The night I became the glue. I'm 14 years old. My dad has been gone for exactly 4 weeks. Heart attack. He was here on a Tuesday and gone by Thursday, and the world did not pause one single second for our family. The house smells like casseroles from the neighbors and a lavender candle my mom bought to cover up the grief, except it can't quite reach it. There are dying flower arrangements on every flat surface. My mom, Diane, is sitting on the living room couch in the same gray sweatshirt she's worn for 5 days straight. She's staring at the wall. Not the TV. Not a book. Just the blank beige wall. My little sister Becca is 9 years old. She's standing at the edge of the hallway in her socks, bottom lip trembling, stomach growling loud enough that I can hear it from where I'm standing. "Mom," Becca says quietly. "I'm hungry." Nothing. Mom doesn't blink. Doesn't move. "Mom." Becca's voice breaks a little. "I'm really hungry." I wait. I count to 20 in my head. I am 14 years old and I just buried my dad, and I am standing here watching my mother check completely out. And nobody is making dinner. I walk to the kitchen. I open the pantry. There's a box of mac and cheese, the cheap kind with the powder packet, 2 cans of tomato soup, and a sleeve of crackers. I grab the mac and cheese because that's Becca's favorite. I have never cooked a single thing by myself in my entire life. I flip the box over, read every line of the directions like it's a school test. Boil the water. Add the noodles. Drain. Add butter, milk, the cheese packet. Stir. Powder packet tears wrong and orange dust gets all over my shirt. I don't care. I make 2 bowls, one for Becca, one for Mom. I carry Mom's bowl to the living room and set it on the coffee table right in front of her. She looks at it. Then she looks up at me. And here's exactly what she says. I have never forgotten it, not once. "Finally, someone around here is actually being useful." That's it. No thank you. No, sweetheart, you didn't have to do that. Not a single word about the fact that I just lost my dad too. Not "Are you okay?" Nothing except, finally, someone useful. I go back to the kitchen. I wash the pot. I wash the bowls. I wipe down the counters with a sponge that smells like mildew. I make a mental note, buy a new sponge. Check the soup expiration dates. Call the school Monday about the absence paperwork. I am 14 years old and I am already running a household. Nobody handed that job to me. Nobody asked. It just happened. And once you become the person who keeps the lights on, once you're the one who fills the gap, you lose the ability to stop. 'Cause the gap never closes. It just gets wider every year. Fast forward 19 years. I'm 33. I live in a one-bedroom apartment about 15 minutes from my mom's house in Cincinnati. I work as an operations coordinator at a mid-size architecture firm. I'm genuinely good at it, organized, calm under pressure, always the first person to spot what's falling apart and quietly fix it before anyone else even notices. But here's the thing nobody at that job knows. I am doing that exact same job at home every single day. I just don't get a paycheck for it. I open my phone's calendar on a Sunday night. Color-coded. Of course it's color-coded. I'm an operations coordinator. This is how I survive. Blue is my mom, her doctor appointments twice a month because she can't keep track of them herself. Green is school pickup, Emma and Jake, my sister Becca's kids, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yellow is Saturdays, all three of Becca's kids, Emma, Jake, and little Cody, so Becca and her husband Tyler can have their weekly date night. Red is every holiday and birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, all three kids' parties. Plan them, I cook, I clean, I send the invitations. I scroll through 4 months of calendar entries. Every single one has someone else's name in it. Not one belongs to me. I'd made plans to get coffee with my old college friend Vanessa 4 different times this past year. Cancelled every single one. Twice because Becca texted me last minute. Hey, can you watch the kids to you? Tyler's in Austin. Once because mom called to say she was having a hard day and needed someone to sit with her. Once because Jake got sent home from school sick and Becca was stuck in a work call she couldn't leave. I scroll back 6 months. Same pattern. 12 months. Same. My phone buzzes. Text from Becca. Need you sat and son this WKND. Tyler's traveling. I type sure. Hit send. She doesn't reply. No thank you. No how are you doing? Just the automatic assumption that I'll say yes because I have literally never once said anything else. I close the calendar. I sit on the edge of my bed in the quiet of my apartment and I ask myself something I've never asked before. When was the last time someone put my name on their calendar? Not as a task to complete. Not as a service to use. But as an actual person they genuinely wanted to see. June 7th, my 33rd birthday. I wake up and check my phone. Nothing. I shower, get dressed, check again. Still nothing. I drive to work, eat lunch at my desk, check my phone at 2 in the afternoon. Not one birthday text. Not one voicemail. Not one single message. After work, I stop at a little bakery on Madison Road that I've walked past at least 100 times but never actually gone into. I buy 1 cupcake, lemon cream. I sit in my car in the parking lot and eat it alone with the little plastic fork they tucked in the bag. Tastes fine. The moment does not. 7:40 that evening my phone rings. Mom. My chest does this stupid involuntary thing where it lifts a little, like maybe today is different, like maybe this is the call where she surprises me. I answer. Sadie. My blood pressure prescription is ready at the pharmacy and they close at 9. I don't want to drive in this heat. I grip the steering wheel with both hands. Mom. Today is my birthday. A pause. Short. Not even uncomfortable for her, just empty, like she had to run a quick search in her own brain to place the date. Oh. Happy birthday, Han. Can you grab it on your way back? I drive to the pharmacy. I pick up her medication. I drop it at her door. She takes the bag and says, "Thanks, sweetie," and closes the door. Doesn't invite me inside. Doesn't offer so much as a glass of water. Doesn't say another word about my birthday. I sit in her driveway for 4 minutes with the engine running and my headlights aimed at her garage door. I don't cry, I've never been much of a crier. But something inside me, some cable that has been carrying weight for 19 years, snaps. Just quietly, cleanly snaps. When I get home, I open my laptop at 11:30 at night and type apartments Seattle, Washington into the search bar. I don't know why Seattle. I've never been. But it's 2,300 miles from this driveway. And right now that sounds exactly right. The experiment. I don't book a flight that night. I'm an operations coordinator. I don't do impulsive. I plan. But before I make any move, I need to know something. So I run an experiment. Starting the very next morning, I change one thing. Instead of waiting for my family to need me, I start reaching out first. Not with logistics. Not with need anything. Just as a person who wants to connect. June 8th. I text my mom, "Hey, wanna grab lunch Saturday?" Just the two of us. No reply. June 14th. I text Becca, "Hey, how are you really doing? We haven't just talked in forever." Becca texts back, "Little kids are wild and can't really talk." Then nothing. June 21st. I text Tyler, "Hey, how's the new project going? Heard you've been crushing it." He opens it. Read receipt. No response. I keep going. July. August. September. October. Check-ins. Invitations. Little thinking of you messages week after week. Want to try that new Thai place downtown? How's Emma's soccer tournament going? Mom, I finally cracked Grandma Rose's biscuit recipe. It actually worked. Becca, I miss hanging out with just you. Let's do something, just us. I screenshot every single one. I'm not building a case yet. I just need proof that exists somewhere outside my own head, proof that says I tried. I reached out. I'm not imagining this. By the end of October, I sit down and count. 231 messages sent. 10 replies. All of them short, all of them logistical, not one single reply asking how I was doing. 221 messages ignored. I sit on my bed with my laptop open to a job listing in Seattle. Operations manager at a mid-sized tech company. Full benefits. Salary that's actually a real step up from what I'm making now. Start date November 15th. I look at those screenshots one more time. 231 attempts. Then I look at the listing. The application takes 25 minutes. I hit submit before I can argue myself out of it. The offer comes through. October. The offer lands in my inbox on a Tuesday morning while I'm eating oatmeal at my kitchen counter. I read it 3 times. It's real. I accept it before lunch. I give 2 weeks' notice at work. My boss, Richard, shakes my hand across his desk and says, "Seattle doesn't know how lucky they're about to get." 5 words. Genuine acknowledgement from a man I'd worked alongside for 4 years. More recognition in one sentence than my family had given me in close to 2 decades. I pack my apartment in stages. Evenings after work, boxes stacking up in the living room, furniture listed on Facebook Marketplace. Strangers show up with cash and pickup trucks and carry out the couch I've had since college. I set up mail forwarding with the post office. One thing I do not do, I do not change my phone number. Same number 11 years. If anyone in my family wants to reach me, the door is wide open. I'm not hiding. I'm just done being the one who always knocks first. My last night in Cincinnati, I drive past my mom's house. The living room light is on. I can see the soft glow behind the curtains, the TV probably same as every night. I could pull over. Walk up. Knock on the door. Tell her I love her and I'm going. I keep driving. November. Seattle. It's raining when I pull in, of course. It's Seattle in November. I park outside my new apartment complex in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, an older brick building with a mossy courtyard and a Japanese maple out front. It's already losing its leaves, but I can tell that tree is going to be gorgeous come fall next year. I sit in the car with the engine off and I just breathe. Really breathe, slow and deep and completely uninterrupted. No buzzing phone. No one needing anything. Quiet is so complete it almost feels unfamiliar, like I've forgotten what it sounds like. I had an unexpected welcome. His name is Marcus Webb, 38, freelance travel writer, the kind of guy who always has paint stains on his jeans and seems to know everyone on the block. He held the elevator for me while I was wrestling a box of kitchen stuff, then helped me carry 3 boxes up to the 3rd floor without a word about it. Just did it. Said, "Welcome to the building," and went back to his apartment like it was nothing. It was such a small thing. I thought about it for the rest of that first day. Months 1 through 8, the silence test. Month 1. November. I check my phone every morning. Nothing from Ohio. I tell myself it's fine, they're probably busy. Everyone's got their own stuff going on. Thanksgiving comes. I sit in my new apartment, furniture still half-assembled, boxes lining one wall, with a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, a can of cranberry sauce, and a glass of wine that Marcus actually knocked on my door to deliver. "First Thanksgiving in a new city is rough," he said. "This is the survival kit." He didn't ask questions. Just handed it over and went back to his place. From Ohio? Complete silence. No call wondering where I was. No text. And here's what hit me while I sat there eating alone. There probably wasn't even a Thanksgiving dinner in Cincinnati this year. 'Cause I was the one who organized it every single year. Without me, there was no menu, no grocery list, no table. And nobody thought to ask why. Month 2. December. Christmas Eve. My phone stays silent from Ohio. Marcus hosts a small gathering down in the courtyard. String lights, maybe 8 people I barely know yet, someone handing me a cookie shaped like a star. It was genuinely the warmest holiday moment I'd had in years. 2 sentences and a cookie from a neighbor beat the last several Ohio Christmases by a mile. Month 4. February. I check my old email one last time to clear it out. There's one unread message from Becca sent about 3 months after I left. Subject line, spring break. Body of the email. "Can you watch the kids' spring break week? Tyler's taking a trip with the guys." No greeting. No, how are you? She doesn't even know I'm gone. I've been living in Seattle for 4 months and she is still messaging my old inbox assuming I'm 12 minutes away, ready to drop everything. Month 8. June 7th. My 34th birthday in Seattle. I buy myself a cupcake, lemon cream, because I've officially decided that's my thing now. I eat it on my couch with a book in my lap instead of in a parking lot. That feels like real progress. My phone doesn't ring from Ohio. That part doesn't even sting anymore. Just is what it is. Month 9, Priya. 9 months in, I meet Priya Nair at work. She's 36, senior product designer, has this quiet warmth about her that doesn't demand anything from you. In my 2nd month there, she leans into my office doorway with her coffee and says, "Hey, how's your weekend going?" I open my mouth to answer and I almost lose it right there. Not because the question is emotional. 'Cause I genuinely cannot remember the last time someone asked me something like that and then actually waited for my answer. Like stood there. Expected a real response. Was curious about what I'd say. I tell her I hiked up at Mount Rainier. She says that's awesome and asks which trail. We talk for 20 minutes. I am not solving a problem for her. I am not being useful. I am just talking and she is just listening. I go back to my desk afterward and sit with that feeling for a long time. Months 10 through 14, building a life. Priya and I start hiking on Saturdays. She brings me into her friend group, potlucks, trivia nights, random Sunday morning trips to the farmer's market. People ask me what music I like, what I've been reading, what I think about things. Every time someone asks me a real question about myself, not what I can do for them but who I actually am, I feel this tiny delay before I answer. Like a loading screen. 'Cause I am genuinely having to dig for some of these answers. I've been so busy being useful to other people for so long that I stopped knowing what I actually liked. Month 12. October. My manager, Sandra, calls me into her office. I assume I've done something wrong. She slides a piece of paper across the desk. Promotion letter. Senior Operations Manager. A significant raise. You're the most organized, clear-headed person on this team, she says. Every single project you've touched has come in clean. I stare at the paper. She says, "What?" "Take the compliment, Sadie." I don't tell her I had 19 years of practice managing a family who never once said thank you. Month 18, the phone call that started everything. It's a Tuesday evening in April, 18 months after I drove away from Cincinnati. I'm on my couch in Seattle reading a novel with a cup of chamomile tea going cold on the table beside me. Marcus had knocked earlier to see if I wanted to grab tacos from the truck down the block. We went. We talked about nothing. His latest travel assignment in Costa Rica, a terrible action movie we'd both seen, the pigeons near the courtyard getting too brave. Normal life. I came home. I was happy. My phone lights up. Area code. Becca. I watch it ring until it stops. Here's what was happening on the other end. Becca needed a babysitter. Tyler was in Columbus for a 4-day work conference, and she had a girlfriend spa weekend already planned, 2 nights, Friday through Sunday. She called the only number she'd ever dialed for free childcare over the last 7 years. Mine. It rings and rings. She texts, "Hey, need you this weekend, can you call me?" The message delivers. I'm in a pottery class in Capitol Hill, hands covered in wet clay, phone face down in my bag. She tries again Saturday morning. Gets my voicemail. Doesn't leave a message, she's always hated voicemail. So instead, Becca does what Becca does when things don't cooperate. She takes matters into her own hands. She drives to my apartment. My Cincinnati apartment. The one I moved out of 18 months ago. She parks, walks upstairs, and knocks on 3C. No answer. She knocks harder. The woman across the hall opens her door, Helen, who has lived in that building for close to 10 years. She's probably seen Becca dropping kids off, picking me up, all of it. "You looking for the girl in 3C? Helen says. "My sister. Sadie Crawford." Helen's face does this soft, sorry thing. "Oh, honey. She moved away a long time ago. Over a year and a half. She packed up a trailer one morning and left. Nobody knew where she was going." Becca stares at her. "What?" "Gone, sweetheart. Long gone. And here is the part one really, genuinely need you to sit with. 'Cause this moment tells you everything you need to know about this whole story." Becca's first reaction, standing outside the door of my empty apartment, is not concern. She does not say, "Oh my God, is she okay?" She does not ask Helen, "Did she seem distressed when she left? Was something wrong?" She pulls out her phone and calls our mother. "Mom, did you know Sadie moved away?" My mom says, "What are you talking about?" 18 months. Nobody called. Nobody stopped by. Nobody drove 15 minutes to check on me. Not once. It wasn't until someone needed something from me that anyone came to find me. And even then, standing in front of my empty apartment, the first question was not about whether I was safe. It was about what I could have done for them. 52 voicemails in 48 hours. My mother, Diane Crawford, does not handle surprises well. She handles them the way she handles everything, by making the entire situation about herself. Within an hour of Becca's call, Diane picks up her phone and dials my number. The number that has been sitting right there in her contacts for 2 years without anyone pressing it. I'm in Seattle. On my couch. I see Mom light up on the screen. I set my book face down. I watch it ring. I don't pick up. She calls again. And again. And then the voicemails start. Voicemail 1. "Sadie, where are you? Call me back right now." Voicemail 7. "How dare you leave without telling your mother? What is the matter with you?" Voicemail 14. You are the most selfish child I have ever raised. Your father would not recognize you. Voicemail 26. I'm going to tell everyone what kind of daughter you really are. Voicemail 38. After everything I gave up for you, everything I sacrificed. Voicemail 47. If you don't call me back, you are done. You hear me? You are completely done with this family. Voicemail 52. I want you to know that I am completely, totally alone because of what you chose to do to us. 52 voicemails. Friday evening straight through Sunday night. I listen to every single one. I take notes in a spiral notebook, message by message. I write down what she says. Not because I have some grand plan yet. I just need to see it on paper. I need to look at it. I finish and I sit there with my notebook in my lap. 52 voicemails. Not one single message asks if I am safe. Not one says, Sadie, are you okay? Not one uses the words, I'm worried about you. Every message, all 52 of them, is about what I did to her. What I owe her. How I embarrassed her. How dare I? I set the notebook down. I look across the apartment toward the hallway closet. On the top shelf sits a manila folder I packed before I left Cincinnati. I printed everything, organized it all, and brought it with me. I haven't touched it since I got here. I walk over, pull it down, and set it on the kitchen table. The folder. 231 messages. I organize them the way I organize everything at work. By recipient, then by date. 3 color-coded divider tabs. Tab 1, Messages to Mom. 89 entries. 3 highlight colors. Yellow for check-ins, how are you feeling today? Pink for invitations, wanna grab lunch Saturday, just us? Blue for emotional reach-outs, Mom, I finally cracked Grandma Rose's biscuit recipe. It actually worked. Wish you were here to try it. Next to each one, a small handwritten note. No reply. Read, no response. Read receipt, nothing. Tab 2, Messages to Becca. 97 entries. Same system. How's Jake doing after that ER visit? Wanna take the kids to that pumpkin patch this fall? Becca, I miss you. Can we do something just us? No kids, no agenda. 97 attempts. 91 ignored. 6 replies, all logistical, not one asking how I was doing. Tab 3, Messages to Tyler. 45 entries. Every single one opened. Every single one ignored. Response rate 0%. To bottom of each tab, a simple line, total sent, total replied, percentage. Mom 4%. Becca 6%. Tyler 0. No commentary. No essay. No paragraphs about how much it hurt. Just the record. I pull out one clean white sheet of paper and write one sentence. One sentence in black pen. I tried 231 times. Here they are. I put the sheet on top of the folder, slide everything into a medium-sized cardboard box, and write my mother's address on the outside. No return name. Just a Seattle, Washington return address. I tape it shut. I carry it to the shelf by my front door. I'm not sending it yet. I'm waiting. And I have a very specific reason for the timing. Aunt Carol calls. My Aunt Carol is my mom's older sister. She's 66. She cut contact with my mother about 8 years ago for reasons my mother has conveniently never explained to anyone, though if you've spent any time at all around Diane Crawford, you can pretty much piece it together yourself. Carol knows where I live in Seattle because I told her 2 years ago. She sends me a birthday card every June. It's been a tradition between us for years. She's the one family member who has consistently, reliably showed up for me in small ways that actually counted. She calls me on a Wednesday in late May. They found out, she says. I figured. Your mom's called me 3 times. Becca called too. Your mom is saying you abandoned the whole family. Becca's already posting about it on social media. And Carol pauses. I asked Becca one question before she could say another word. What question? I asked her. In the last year and a half, did you ever call Sadie? Not to ask for help. Just to actually talk to her. Silence on the line. She hung up on me, Carol says. I sit down on the edge of the bed. There's something else, Carol says. Your mom is planning a big party for little Cody's 3rd birthday. 2nd Saturday of June, the 14th. She's invited the whole neighborhood, Tyler's parents, her book club friends, people from the community center, the pastor and his wife from church. And according to what Becca told me, your mom is planning to give a little speech. In front of everyone. About how you abandoned her. She's setting a stage. That's exactly what she's doing. She wants witnesses. I look at the box sitting on the shelf by my front door. Taped up. Addressed. Waiting. When exactly is the party? I ask. Saturday, June 14th. I do the math. Priority mail from Seattle to Cincinnati runs 2 to 3 business days. If I mail it Wednesday, June 7th, it arrives Friday the 12th. Maybe Saturday the 13th. The morning of the party. Are you going back for any of this? Carol asks. No. Good. I wasn't going to suggest it. Carol. Yeah. Thank you for being the one person who calls just to call. She's quiet for a moment. Then, simply, that's what family is supposed to do, sweetheart. We hang up. I walk to the shelf. Pick up the box and hold it in both hands. It's lighter than you'd think. Funny how the truth can feel that light when you've been carrying it heavy for so long. June 7th, my 35th birthday, and the box. I wake up on my birthday to the sound of rain on the windows, which is basically just Seattle saying good morning. I lie in bed for a minute, not checking my phone. That used to be the first thing I did on my birthday, check and hope. Not anymore. I get up. I make coffee. I walk to the shelf and pick up the box. Marcus knocks at 9 in the morning with coffee from the Good Place 2 blocks over and a birthday card he clearly made himself. A slightly crooked hand-drawn sketch of the Seattle skyline, happy birthday neighbor written in blue marker. It is genuinely, sincerely terrible. I love it. I put it on the fridge next to Carol's card that arrived yesterday. Anything going on today? He asks. Actually, yeah. I have an errand to run first. Then Gasworks Park if you're free around noon. I'll bring chips, he says. I drive to the post office on Capitol Hill. The line is short, 2 people ahead of me. I hold the box under my arm. Clerk is a woman in her early 60s with reading glasses on a chain and the calm, steady energy of someone who has truly seen everything. She weighs the box, types in the zip code. Priority mail, 2 to 3 business days. Should be there by Friday or Saturday. Saturday works perfectly. Anything fragile inside? I look at the box for a moment. No. Nothing fragile. Just the truth. She prints the label. I pay. She sets it on the conveyor belt behind her. And just like that, it's moving zip code to zip code, Seattle to Cincinnati, from the person who tried to the people who never noticed. I walk back to my car. The rain has actually stopped. I take a long, slow breath. My shoulders drop about 2 inches. My phone buzzes. Priya, happy birthday Sadie, birthday cake dinner at mine tonight. I'm making my mom's style. Bring nothing. I smile so wide it almost surprises me. Someone remembered. Someone who has known me for less than a year remembered the day my own family has forgotten for 2 years running. I text back, I'd love that. Marcus and I spend 2 hours at Gasworks Park sitting on the grass with the skyline behind us and Lake Union in front of us, talking about absolutely nothing important. The June sky clears out halfway through and the water turns this deep, bright blue. Later that evening, there are 6 of us around Priya's table, laughing about something ridiculous. And somewhere in the middle of it, I realize I haven't thought about Ohio in 4 hours straight. That's the best birthday gift I've gotten in years. Saturday, June 14th, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm not there. But I know that house the way I know my own reflection. The front porch with the loose railing post, the living room with the pale carpet that hasn't changed since 2009, the kitchen where I stood at 14 making boxed mac and cheese while grief soaked into every wall. Today, that kitchen is decorated for Cody's 3rd birthday. Dinosaur tablecloth, green balloons, a grocery store cake with lopsided blue frosting. Everything is slightly, subtly off, the napkins don't match, the music playlist is wrong, the timing is a mess. Becca keeps catching herself thinking, Sadie would have handled this. And every time that thought comes, her jaw tightens instead of her heart aching. She doesn't know what to do with that yet. The house is full. Frank and Beverly Holloway, Tyler's parents, 73 and 69, are sitting in the living room making polite conversation with the next-door neighbor, Mrs. Garner. 3 women from my mom's book club are clustered near the kitchen island. Pastor from Diane's church, Pastor Tom, and his wife Linda are standing near the back door with paper plates. The whole community center crew, 15 people in total. Tyler stands by the sliding glass door watching the kids run in the backyard. He's been quiet all morning. He keeps thinking about something, we'll get to what, but he hasn't said a word about it. And Diane, my mother, is standing in the center of the living room in her nicest blouse, hair done, lipstick on. She is ready. She has been rehearsing this. On the hallway table, between the decorative bowl and a framed family photo from 2015, sits a cardboard box. Seattle, Washington return address. No name. It arrived that morning. Nobody has opened it. Cody's candles get blown out. Everyone sings. He shoves his face directly into the frosting and the whole room laughs. Then Diane taps her glass with a spoon and the room goes quiet. Before we move on, she says, I need to say something. Becca freezes near the kitchen counter. Tyler looks at the floor. As some of you know, Diane continues, voice carrying the practiced weight of someone who has given this speech in her head 100 times, my older daughter Sadie made a very painful choice. She left this family without a single word. Packed up and moved, we still don't even know exactly where, and she hasn't spoken to any of us in nearly 2 years. She pauses, letting that land. I gave that girl everything. A home, love, stability, the best of myself. And she repaid me by walking away from her mother, her sister, and 3 children who loved her. One more pause. But we don't need her pity. We have each other. And that is what family actually means. You show up. You don't run away. Scattered applause. Mrs. Garner nods. One of Becca's friends puts a hand on Becca's arm and whispers, You are so strong. Becca nods. Eyes wet. Performance lands exactly how Diane planned it. 15 people in a room, and my mother has just drawn herself as the grieving matriarch and me as the ungrateful daughter who abandoned everyone. Not one person in that room has heard a single word of my side. Then Frank Holloway, Tyler's dad, 73 years old, retired civil engineer, a man who has spent his whole life measuring things carefully before he speaks, glances toward the hallway. Diane, he says, someone sent you a package. Return address says Seattle, Washington. Every single head in the room turns. The box opens. Diane walks to the hallway table and picks up the box. It's lighter than she expected. She carries it to the dining room table. The room watches. She slides her thumbnail under the tape and pulls the flaps open. Inside, a thick manila folder neatly organized with 3 color-coded divider tabs. On top of everything, a single white sheet of paper. Diane picks it up and reads it aloud. Maybe instinct. Maybe because she still has an audience and doesn't realize what she's about to hold. I tried 231 times. Here they are. She flips the page over. Blank on the back. She opens the first tab, her section, and starts reading. Page after page of printed screenshots. Her name at the top of each one. Dates, times. Messages she received. And next to each one in neat handwriting, no reply. Read receipt, nothing. Seen, no response. Her face changes. Not all at once. It's like watching a room dim when a cloud moves over the sun, gradual then suddenly complete. Becca reaches across and pulls the second tab toward her. Her section. 97 messages. Her name on every page. She reads the first one, a text from 8 months ago. Hey, how are you really doing? We haven't just talked in forever. Highlighted in yellow. No reply. She turns the page. Another message. Another highlight. Another no reply. Page after page. Beverly Holloway picks up the third tab. Tyler's section. 45 messages. She reads one. Then another. She looks up slowly at her son. Tyler won't meet her eyes. Mrs. Garner is the first person to speak. She has known our family for over 20 years. She was at my dad's funeral. She watched me mow my mom's lawn every Saturday for a decade. Diane, she says, voice level and flat in a way that is so much worse than anger. She texted you 89 times. My mother's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. 89 times, Mrs. Garner repeats. And you just stood here and told this room she left without a word. Diane's hand grips the edge of the table. Those messages she was always, it wasn't like. 89, Mrs. Garner says again. Just that one word. Beverly Holloway sets down the third tab and looks at her son. Tyler. You open these messages. Tyler is studying the carpet. 45 messages, Beverly says quietly. From someone in this family. You read them and you said nothing. Beverly, this is, Becca starts. My son is family, Beverly says. And 45 messages went unanswered. That is my business. Frank puts his drink down and looks at Tyler with the eyes of a man who built things with his hands for 40 years and knows when a foundation is cracked. Son. Just his name. Nothing else. Lands like a weight. Pastor Tom sets his paper plate on the counter. He looks at his wife, Linda. We should get going, he says gently. Thank you for having us. They pick up their things and walk out quietly without drama. One of Becca's friends reaches for her purse. Then another. The room starts to empty the way a room empties when people don't want to be inside what's coming next. Not in a rush, just steadily and deliberately, like air leaving through a slow, quiet leak. Becca's face goes red. This is what she does, she says to whoever's left. She planned this. She's manipulating everyone. But the folder is open on the dining room table. 231 messages with dates, timestamps, and handwritten notations. There is no version of this story where I am the villain. Not with that sitting right there on the table. The room empties, the family cracks. The guests are gone. Cody is asleep on the living room couch with birthday frosting still on his chin. Emma and Jake are running in the backyard, completely oblivious. The adults remain, Diane, Becca, Tyler, Frank, and Beverly. Nobody sits down. The folder lies open in the center of the table like a wound that just got exposed to air for the first time. Diane speaks first. She points at Becca. You are her sister. You live 10 minutes away. How did you not know she was gone? Becca's eyes go wide. Excuse me? You are her mother. You live 15 minutes from her apartment and you didn't notice for 18 months. I have health issues. Sadie managed your health issues, Becca snaps back. Her voice is sharp in a way I have never, in 29 years of knowing her, heard her speak to our mother. She drove you to every single appointment. She tracked your prescriptions. She did everything. The words hang over the room like smoke that won't clear. Frank turns to his son, voice low and measured. You saw those messages, Tyler. You read them. Tyler doesn't answer. Every single one, Frank says. 45 messages from someone in this family and you looked the other way. Dad. You didn't call her either, Dad. Tyler says it quietly, without heat. Just fact. Nobody in this room did. The room splinters. Diane blames Becca for not keeping in touch with her older sister. Becca fires back that Diane is the parent and responsibility starts at the top. Frank presses Tyler. Tyler points out that Frank never called me either. Beverly turns on Frank. Circles and never lands anywhere. Nobody fixes anything. Nobody proposes an apology. They argue about the optics, who looks worse, what to tell people, how to handle the fallout. And the one thing nobody does, not one single person, picks up the phone to call me. Saturday night, Seattle. I'm on the couch watching a nature documentary about deep-sea creatures with Priya. Something slow and blue and completely removed from anything happening in Cincinnati right now. My phone buzzes on the cushion beside me. Area code. Mom. Then again. Then 3 times fast. Mom, Becca, Mom. Priya glances over. You okay? Yeah. Just family stuff. She nods and hands me the popcorn without asking a single follow-up question. That's the thing about people who actually know how to care about someone. They don't demand entry. They just leave the door open and let you walk through when you're ready. I put the phone face down. We watch something luminous pulse through black water. Later, after Priya leaves, I check. Diane's voicemail. Sadie, how could you do this in front of people? In my own home? You humiliated me in front of my friends and the whole church on my grandson's birthday. How could you? Till not, are you okay? Till not, I miss you. Just how dare you? Becca's voicemail. I cannot believe you did this. Tyler's parents are barely speaking to us. His dad looked at him like a total stranger the rest of the night. Is this what you wanted? Are you happy now? I set the phone on the nightstand and look at the ceiling. Am I happy? No. This isn't happiness. I didn't mail that folder to cause chaos. I mailed it because I spent 5 months reaching out and got almost nothing back. I mailed it because my mother stood in a room full of people and called me a deserter, and the only honest answer I had was to show them what I had actually done. I tell Marcus about it the next morning when we cross paths in the courtyard, both of us with our coffees. I give him the short version. He listens the whole way through without interrupting. Then he says, so they're mad at you or at each other? Both. Mostly each other, from what I can tell. He nods slowly. Yeah. People can't stay mad at a mirror. They end up mad at what they see in it instead. I think about that the rest of the day. Word gets around. The word travels the way it always does in a tight-knit community, not through announcements, but through hushed conversations and book club meetings and the soft, careful voices of women who say, I probably shouldn't say this, but... Mrs. Garner tells her daughter. Her daughter mentions it to 2 women at the community center. By the following Sunday, most of Diane's social world has heard some version of what happened at that birthday party. And the version that sticks, the one that keeps traveling, isn't the one about the ungrateful daughter who abandoned her family. The version that sticks is this one. She sent over 200 messages and nobody ever answered. She moved across the country and they didn't notice for 18 months. That version sticks because it's the one that's true. Diane feels it before anyone says it to her face. Conversations that go quiet when she walks in. Mrs. Garner who waves from across the yard but doesn't come over anymore. The community center women's group coordinator who calls to say they're restructuring leadership this season and Diane's role is under review. Nobody confronts her directly. Nobody has to. The silence does the work. In desperation, she calls Carol. Margaret, you have to help me. Please talk to Sadie. Tell her to call. Carol's voice is dry. I told you 7 years ago, Diane, that you treat your kids like they're on your payroll. You didn't speak to me for 2 years after I said that. I'm not getting in the middle of something I warned you about. But everyone is. Everyone is seeing what I've been seeing for 30 years. That's not my problem anymore. Carol hangs up. For the first time in longer than she can probably remember, Diane sits in her house with no one coming over. The phone's silent. TV on. Just her. Now she knows what that feels like. Tyler calls. 3 weeks after the birthday party, a Tuesday evening, my phone rings. Tyler. I let it go twice, then I answer. We're both quiet for several seconds. I can hear him breathing. I wait. He called. He goes first. I'm not calling because Becca asked me to, he says. She doesn't even know I'm doing this right now. Okay. My dad showed me that folder at the party. I'd already seen my texts, my section, but looking at all of them together in order with the dates right there. I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. I don't fill the silence. I've learned that silence is the most honest space in a conversation. People say what they actually mean when you stop talking first. You texted me about my job, Tyler continues. You asked how a project was going. You texted me Happy Father's Day. And I saw every single one. I read them and I just didn't respond. I don't have an excuse for that, Sadie. I just want you to know I see it now. I appreciate you saying that, Tyler. I really do. Pause. The kids miss you. Emma drew a picture of you last week. Your old apartment building with flowers out front. My chest tightens. I miss them too. But I'm not coming back to fix something that isn't mine to fix anymore. I know. Another pause. What do you need from us? I need to stop being treated like a service. If we're going to have any kind of real relationship, it starts with everyone seeing me as a person, not a backup plan, not a free Tuesday pickup, not an emergency contact for when plans fall through. That's the baseline. Everything else comes after that. That's completely fair. And I need you to pass that to Becca and my mom exactly the way I said it. Not filtered. Not softened. Mine. I will. Before he hangs up, Tyler says one more thing. Becca and your mom aren't speaking right now. Just so you know. That's between them, I say. And I mean it. I don't offer to help. I don't start running calculations about how to smooth it over. That job does not belong to me anymore. Diane's voicemail, the one that's different. About a week after Tyler calls, my phone shows Mom. I don't answer. But this voicemail is different. I know it in the first 5 seconds. Sadie. Long pause. The sharpness is gone. The performance energy that usually underlies everything she says, it's absent. She just sounds like a tired woman sitting alone in a room. I read through every page last night. The whole folder. I sat at the kitchen table by myself and went through all of it. Her voice is quieter than I have ever heard it. I thought I knew what was in there. But I was sitting there for a long time. She swallows. I can hear it. There's one from October of last year. You wrote, Mom, I finally cracked Grandma Rose's biscuit recipe. It actually worked. Wish you were here to try it. And I can see it right there in the folder, Sadie. I received that message. And I never once wrote back. Silence. 10 full seconds. You wanted to share something with me, and I said nothing. Then, very quietly, I don't know how to say I was wrong. I genuinely never learned how to say that. I know that sounds like making excuses. Maybe it is. A breath. But I saw it. All of it. And I don't know what to do with that now. The voicemail ends. I sit in my living room and play it back 3 times. I am listening for the performance, for the Diane Crawford monologue that always bends back to her own suffering. I don't find it this time. This time it just sounds like a 61-year-old woman sitting alone at a kitchen table with 231 pages of proof that her daughter had been reaching for her. And she'd kept looking away. I don't call back. Not yet. But I open my journal and write 4 words at the top of the page. First message. Real person. Becca's call. 2 weeks later, Becca calls. Tyler gave her my number. I answer because I'm genuinely curious what version of herself she decides to bring. I still don't understand why you had to do it the way you did, she starts. Which part? The package. The folder. Doing it in front of everyone at a kid's birthday party. I let a beat go. Becca, I sent you 97 messages over 5 months. I was busy. I have 3 kids. October 12th. I asked if you wanted to take the kids apple picking. October 28th. I asked how Jake was doing after his ER visit. November 20th. I asked if you needed any help with Thanksgiving. Silence. December 4th. I sent you a photo of a gift I'd wrapped for Cody and you opened the message and didn't say a single word back. January 9th. I texted you, I miss you. Can we just hang out, just us? You saw it. You didn't answer. Sadie. Stop. Do you understand what I'm saying? A different kind of silence this time. Longer. Quiet of someone who can't find a rebuttal because there isn't one. I know your life is hard, I say. I know you're exhausted. I was right there with you for 7 years, Becca. I picked up Emma and Jake twice a week. I watched all 3 of your kids every single Saturday so you and Tyler could actually have a marriage. I showed up at 2 in the morning when Cody had croup and you didn't know what to do. I know exactly how hard your life is because I was living it alongside you. For free. Without being asked. Without ever complaining once. I can hear her starting to cry. Not the dramatic kind. Quiet, involuntary kind. The kind that comes when something undeniable lands. I love your kids, I tell her, and I mean it completely. But I am not your backup plan anymore. If you want a real relationship with me, one where I'm your sister, not your nanny, it starts with you seeing me as an actual person first. A long pause. Then, quietly, Mom says this is all your fault. And what do you say? Silence. She hangs up. The email. That night I sit at my kitchen table with tea and open my laptop. Rain steady on the windows. The apartment warm and quiet and mine. I draft an email. 3 recipients, Diane Crawford, Becca Holloway, Tyler Holloway. Subject, where I stand. I write it the same way I write a project brief at work. Clear structure, measured language, no emotion bleeding through where it doesn't belong. 5 points. Nothing more. 1. I am safe. I am well. I live in Seattle, Washington. I have a good job, real friends, and a life I'm genuinely proud of. 2. I left because this family stopped seeing me as a person. I was a function, a babysitter, a driver, a planner, a mediator, an errand runner. When the function disappeared, nobody noticed the person was gone. That told me everything I needed to know. 3. I am open to rebuilding. But not the old relationships. Not the old terms. Not the arrangement where I give endlessly and nobody asks how I'm doing. For my terms are simple. No guilt trips. No voicemails about what I owe anyone. No using the kids as emotional leverage. No social media posts about me or what I supposedly did to this family. If any of these are violated, I will extend no contact indefinitely. That is not a threat. It is a boundary. 5. I love you. That is exactly why I tried 231 times before I walked out the door. But love without respect isn't love. It's a job. And I resigned. I read it once. I do not soften it. I do not add a "I hope you understand" or "I'm sorry if this hurts." I've spent 33 years padding every word I say to make other people comfortable holding it. This email is for me. I hit send. Close the laptop. Pull on my rain jacket and go for a walk in the Seattle dark. The air is cold and clean and smells like wet cedar and eucalyptus. I breathe until my chest unclenches completely. 6 months after the package, June to December. Here is where everyone stands. Diane started therapy. Not because she chose it, because Pastor Tom gently suggested it and Diane has always respected him enough to actually listen when he speaks. She sent me one email last month. Short. No guilt, no when are you coming home, no performance. Just, I'm working on things I probably should have worked on a long time ago. I don't expect a response. I just wanted you to know. I read it 4 times. I haven't replied yet. I'm not ready. But I saved it. Becca, we haven't spoken since she hung up on me. But through Tyler I hear things. She hired a babysitter, actually pays her 2 afternoons a week. She drives herself to the grocery store. Manages her own calendar. Tyler says it's the hardest thing she's ever had to learn. He says some nights she sits in the kitchen after the kids go to bed, just quiet. I believe him. It's hard to learn at 30 what you should have built for yourself years ago. Tyler became a quiet bridge. Every couple of weeks he sends me a photo of the kids. No caption, no expectations, no, so when are you visiting? Just moments. Emma at a school play, arms stretched wide. Jake losing his first tooth, proudest gap-toothed grin you've ever seen. Cody on a swing, laughing at something only he can see. I reply to everyone. Short. She looks so proud. He's getting so big. That kid's laugh, though. It's not a door swung wide open. It's a window cracked an inch. And right now that's enough. Frank and Beverly. Frank and Tyler are talking again, slowly and carefully. Beverly sent me a card through Tyler. We're sorry we didn't reach out sooner. You deserved better from this family. I put it on my fridge. Diane and Becca, technically speaking again but stiffly, mostly at Emma and Jake's school pickups. Short sentences. The easy old dynamic is gone, the one where Diane commanded and Becca followed and I stood in the middle absorbing everything. Without that middle, they don't know how to talk to each other anymore. That is not my problem to solve. Not now. Maybe not ever. What my life looks like now. It's a Thursday evening in December. My apartment smells like it's supposed to smell, like a home. Pot roast. Grandma Rose's recipe, written on an index card with a coffee ring stain in the corner. I photographed that card years ago and kept it safe on my phone. Carrots, onion, fresh thyme, a splash of red wine. Low and slow. 4 hours. The whole apartment is warm from it. Priya comes over for dinner. She walks in the front door and just stops. Oh my God. What is that smell? Pot roast. Family recipe. Whose family? Because I want to be adopted. She doesn't know the whole story. She sets the table with her mismatched cloth napkins she found at a thrift shop in Fremont last month. We sit down. We eat. She says it's the best thing she's tasted in months and she means every word. After dinner I do the dishes at the sink, hands in warm water. And for just a second, one quiet second, I am 14 again. Same posture, same motion, same sound of water over hands. But everything around that moment is completely different. The home is mine. The meal was my choice. When I turn around, there's a person at the table who says, "Thank you." 2 words. I waited a long time to hear them said and actually mean them. Later, after Priya goes home, I sit on the couch and open my phone. I type a message to my mother. Made Grandma Rose's pot roast tonight. Followed her card exactly. It turned out really well. My thumb hovers over the send button for about a minute. Then I press it. 3 minutes later, my phone buzzes. Mom, that's her recipe, all right. She'd be real happy to know you're still making it. 2 sentences. No guilt. No lecture. No, when are you coming home? Just warmth, small and imperfect and uncertain but real. Maybe that's where it starts. Maybe that's where it stays for a while. Either way, I am more than okay tonight. What I need you to hear before you go. I did not leave my family to punish them. I need you to understand that. I left because I needed to find out something I couldn't learn while I was still inside it. I needed to know whether I existed outside of what I did for them. Would anyone notice if I just stopped? Would anyone call? Would anyone drive 15 minutes to check on me? The experiment ran for 5 months, 231 messages, 10 replies. Then I left, and the real answer came back quiet and clear over 18 months. Not one phone call. Not one knock on the door. Not one birthday text. Not until someone needed a favor. That hurt. I'm not going to pretend it didn't. But honest pain is better than comfortable numbness. I will take a clear answer that hurts over a soft lie that hollows me out from the inside. The folder was not revenge. I wrote 0 angry words in it. I added no captions, no essays, no grand explanations. I just printed what already existed, messages they had already received, and sent them back. A mirror. That's the whole thing. And when they looked into it, they didn't see a villain. They saw themselves. If you're watching this right now and you know exactly what I'm describing, if you're the one who plans every holiday, drives every appointment, remembers every birthday, mediates every fight, and absorbs every emergency, and you're sitting somewhere wondering if anyone would even notice if you just stopped, I need you to hear this. Your value is not measured by how useful you are. You are not a function. You are not a service. You are a person. And if the people closest to you have never learned to tell the difference between those two things, that is not your problem to keep solving forever. Set boundaries. Even when they call you selfish. Especially when they call you selfish. Because the people who call you selfish for having needs are almost always the exact same people who benefited the most from you not having any. My name is Sadie Crawford. I'm 35 years old. I live in a 3rd-floor apartment in Seattle with a Japanese maple in the courtyard that went deep red in October, and I stood in the courtyard for 10 minutes just looking at it. I have a promotion I earned. A friend who hikes with me on Saturdays. A neighbor who brings coffee and doesn't ask for anything in return. A therapist I actually look forward to talking to. A calendar that, every single entry on it, has my name. And if I disappeared tomorrow, people would notice. Not because I'm useful to them. 'Cause they actually know me. That took 2 years and 2,300 miles to find. And I would do every mile of it again. This story hit close to home. Drop a comment below right now. Are you the Sadie in your family, the one holding everything together, wondering if anyone even sees it? Or did watching this make you realize you might have a Sadie in your life you've been overlooking? Either way, I want to hear from you. Subscribe if you're new and check the description for more stories like this one. And one last thing, because I mean it, your silence doesn't mean you're okay. Sometimes it just means nobody thought to ask. Thank you for listening.